Your fridge says a lot more about you than you think, especially when a travel nurse opens it for the first time. She just worked a 13-hour shift, and the only thing standing between her and dinner is whether your kitchen actually works like a kitchen. You would be shocked how many landlords think a microwave and a prayer count as fully furnished. Travel nurses are not picky for fun. They are picky because their whole life is packed into one rolling suitcase and a hospital badge. They need a kitchen that performs like a reliable coworker, not one that ghosts them during a night shift snack run. Coffee makers are basically required by law in their world, even if that law only exists in their exhausted little brains. Let's talk pots and pans for a second, because this trips up so many hosts. You do not need a fancy copper set from a cooking show, you just need enough pieces that she is not stir-frying chicken in a single sad saucepan. One good non-stick pan, one pot for pasta or soup, and a baking sheet will save you from getting a annoyed review at 2 in the morning. Here's a fun twist. Dishwashers are basically the unsung heroes of midterm rentals. A nurse coming home wiped out does not want to hand wash a casserole dish like she is auditioning for a colonial reenactment. If your unit has a dishwasher, mention it everywhere because it is basically a 5-star selling point disguised as a kitchen appliance. Knife sets matter more than people expect, and not because anyone is reenacting a cooking competition. A dull knife turns chopping an onion into a 20-minute wrestling match nobody wants to lose. Even one sharp chef's knife and a cutting board can completely change how someone feels about cooking in your space. Now let's get into the toaster debate, because somehow this tiny appliance causes giant drama. People assume toast is optional, but for someone running on caffeine and willpower, toast is basically a life support system. A working toaster oven is even better since it can heat up leftovers without turning the whole kitchen into a sauna. Storage containers are another sneaky must-have that hosts forget about constantly. Travel nurses meal prep like it is their second job, because eating out every night on a contract budget is not realistic. A stack of containers with lids that actually match saves them from playing matching sots with their groceries. Let's pause on something people get wrong all the time. Fully furnished does not mean fully decorated. You can have the cutest farmhouse sign in the world, but if there are only 2 forks and 1 mismatched spoon, that aesthetic means nothing. Functionality always wins over vibes when someone is trying to survive a 90-day contract. Refrigerator space is bigger deal than most landlords realize, pun fully intended. A mini fridge might work for a college dorm, but a grown adult buying groceries for weeks needs real space. If your fridge looks like it was built for a hamster, expect some polite but firm feedback. Let's bring in a little history lesson, because midterm rentals are not some brand new invention. Traveling workers have needed temporary housing for decades, especially nurses moving for hospital shortages long before anyone called it a midterm rental market. The need has always existed, we just finally gave it a fancy name and a website. Now here's the part that surprises a lot of new hosts. Spices and seasonings can make or break the experience. Nobody expects a gourmet pantry, but salt, pepper, and some cooking oil go a long way. It shows you thought about an actual human living there, not just a paying guest passing through. Let's talk about small appliances that quietly win big points, like a blender or an air fryer. Healthcare workers are notoriously into quick, healthy meals because their schedules are unpredictable and chaotic. An air fryer can turn a 15-minute task into a 5-minute win, and trust me, they notice. There's a funny irony here too. The better your kitchen functions, the less you actually hear from your tenant. People do not write 5-paragraph complaints about a kitchen that just works. Silence from a tenant is honestly one of the highest compliments you can get as a landlord. Let's bring in some real-world logic for a second. Midterm renters often stay long enough to settle into routines. That means their kitchen becomes part of their daily rhythm, not just a box to check off. If it supports their lifestyle, you get longer stays, better reviews, and way fewer headaches. So here's the real question. Do you want to learn how to set up a kitchen that keeps travel nurses signing longer leases and leaving glowing reviews? If so, check out our links in the description to learn more about our company.